Hello everyone, welcome back to The Life's Good. I'm AJ, this is my channel, and I'm up here in the northeast of England. It's been a funny weekend, lots happening, and some milestones reached. Last year I threatened I was going to put a new felt roof on my shed. Well, I never got around to doing that. In the end I just patched it where I needed to and left it over winter. But it was desperate to be done, and this weekend I've been able to find the time to crack on and do that. And you could see in the opening photos of this video a few shots of the shed with the felt removed and as complete. I'm really pleased. It's a fully functional shed again, and with a nice new roof, and the gable ends have been repaired as well. So pleased with that. It wasn't easy, did it on my own. It was a bit breezy at times, but we've managed. The other thing is I've now gone past the 300 subscriber mark, so a really big thank you to all of my new subscribers, and indeed my previous subscribers, my originals, and those that have remained with the channel throughout the channel development. Many thanks to you all. I really do appreciate it, and I'm over the moon with reaching the 300. Really pleased with that. In addition to the new subscribers, a lot of them have been picking up on older videos, and one in particular, and that was the paraffin heater. And that leads me on really to today now. It's the 1st of March, and all of those of us that are into the gardening and wanting to start sowing and growing and so on are looking towards the greenhouse as a means to start everything off in readiness for the warmer weather of spring, and indeed the summer and height of the season later on. So a lot of people have been looking on YouTube for advice and guidance on what to sow and using a greenhouse, so on and so forth. And my paraffin heater has seen a lot of activity and received several questions, and indeed questions about the greenhouse itself. So what we'll do, we'll pop in the greenhouse and I'll answer a couple of those questions and show you a few things in relation to that. I had a couple of questions from Victoria Austin in relation to the greenhouse. She asked how I managed to fix my bubble wrap to the inside of my greenhouse so neatly. She did notice I had some clips in here, and it's something I didn't mention before. I have said I insulate my greenhouse with bubble wrap, but I never exactly showed you how I did that. Now, it is insulated with the bubble wrap on the inside. There was some mention of, do you put the bubble wrap on the outside? No, certainly you do not. You put it on the inside of the greenhouse. And I use 3 different products in order to do this. I'm using some little insert and twist clips, and I'll show you a bit more close up in a minute, but these little clips, little brown clips, they're designed for a greenhouse, and they are intended to support strings or wires that you may want to put on the inside of your greenhouse to train plants up or to support plants. And these actually insert into the aluminium framework of the greenhouse. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to undo these ones here. I'd started already at the bottom. I was going to undo these and pull this back, and I'll bring you in close and show you that this frame here has a channel in it, and these clips very easily insert into this channel, and you twist and lock them in place. I'll bring you in close and let you have a look at that. You can now see the framework of the greenhouse here. You can also see my dirty windows. This will need a clean at some point, but that is actually on the outside where the top layer of glass is laying over the top of the next layer of glass, and you do get a bit of moisture gathering there, and you do get moss and lichens growing in there. So that'll be a cleansing job at some point very soon. But coming back to the inside and the bubble wrap, this channel is where you can insert these little clips. I'm hoping that's in focus. You should be able to see that little plastic clip, and what you do is you put it in the sort of like inline position and turn it, and it stays in place like so. And you can attach wires or strings to these, as I said, to support your plants. Well, what I found is by laying the bubble wrap smoothly against the framework, just try and get it back into position again now. There we go. What I'm able to do is to push the clip. If I can do this in focus, I'm pushing the clip into the groove through the bubble wrap, giving it a twist, and that actually holds that in there very, very well. I've got another one further down to put in. I pulled everything apart a little bit, so it's not the best, but again, in here, push it in. I don't know if you can see that, everybody. There you go. And it holds it in place. Now, I've just done that roughly. I'm going to tidy it up again in a minute. I've pulled the corners down and everything. So, thank you, Victoria. I now have to replace the bubble wrap in my greenhouse. Not a problem. So, I hope that helps. Now, the other thing I use, or what I'm not sure what you would call these in other parts of the world. Here I've always referred to these little clips as bulldog clips. Now, I'm not sure if that's because there was a brand called Bulldog, but they're like a fold over clip. You pinch these levers together, they open, they spring back together, and I have used these in the corners and on the framework, and I'll just whiz you around and show you those. You can see that one there, everybody. It's just pinching onto the edge of the frame of the greenhouse, and I've just pushed the bubble wrap over that and put the clip on just to clip it in place. Now, there is a third product that I use to finish this job off, and I'll just turn you a bit more and show you. On the edges, especially around the door area here, what I have used is this, it's like a medical tape. We had several rolls of this in the house. We've got some in the first aid kit. It's extremely sticky, it's extremely flexible, and it's a sort of like a woven material on the surface. And all I've done is to stretch this over the edge of the bubble wrap on here, and caught the bubble wrap, folded it onto the framework, and it sticks very, very well and holds that bubble wrap in place against the framing there. And once you've got it in position, you've got the piece you want, just cut it with a pair of scissors. Job done. So I find that this type of tape is quite good. It's also white, so it's not too in your face, as it were. Once it's up, it's not black or silver like some sort of duct tape or anything like that. But it does a good job. I've used it on the seams just to finish the seams off and to stop any drafts that might be coming through the sides of the framework and so on. So that little bit of tape as well. So all in all, it was a little bit of an operation, but it served to insulate my greenhouse extremely well and has helped to maintain the heat in here early season and throughout the winter to support the germination and the growing of my newly sown seeds and small plants. There's one more person I'd like to mention today, and that is someone who's a regular contributor to my channel, frequently comments and asks questions, and indeed keeps me updated as to what he's up to with his garden. And that is my new friend Dave, Hard Rock Master. Dave's based down in South Wales, and during the week he asked me how's your ginger doing, AJ? Now, it wasn't a rude question, it was actually a legitimate question, and indeed, my ginger is doing absolutely nothing. That's the answer. Nothing at all. So, I planted the ginger root last year. I did everything according to what I'd learnt on the internet, checked on YouTube, followed the instructions on the packet, planted my root. By the end of the summer, we had a tall shoot on here, some foliage, tall stem. But I moved it into the greenhouse for the winter, and within a few weeks, that stem had sort of withered and collapsed. And I really don't know why. Now, I'm not an expert on ginger. I've never grown ginger before. It was a bit of an experiment as far as I'm concerned. This is just sitting here. Now, I have checked the root in here and it seems to be perfectly intact. It's not rotted in any way, shape or form. So it may come back. But if any of you know what I'm doing here that's wrong, or what I should be doing, if you have any idea of how to grow ginger, please let me know, because I'm not sure this is right or wrong. I just don't know. So yeah, please get in touch, make a comment or whatever, and let me know what I should be doing with my ginger plant. We'll wait and see. Well, that's about it for today. I've got a few more things to do. Before we go, I will mention the maximum minimum thermometer, because in my last video I said things were getting a bit milder and a bit warmer, and then lo and behold, that night, frost, and indeed every night since, and the last one last night was particularly cold, and I have had to light the paraffin heater over the last 4 nights. And I was just noting that at the moment in here, I've got the door open, mind, so it's 10.9, about 11 Celsius in here, which in Fahrenheit is about 51.5 Fahrenheit. Overnight, the outside temperatures have been getting down to 0 and -1. I've been putting the greenhouse the paraffin heater on, and when I came out this morning, that had maintained about 8.5 degrees Celsius overnight in here, so that's quite comfortable for my newly sown seeds, and indeed some of the germinated little plants I've got sitting in here. So the paraffin heater is an absolute godsend when it is cold, and as I said, February, end of February into March, we can still get really cold weather. It ain't over yet, so be careful, don't go putting anything tender outside, and if you're going to be sowing anything in the greenhouse and expect it to germinate, you may need to add a little bit of heat, and that's where the paraffin heater comes in, or an electric heater, or any other method of heating that you may choose to use to keep your greenhouse warm. Whatever you're doing, you stay safe, you look after each other, be happy, and come back and see us soon. It'd be great to have you back here in the Life's Good. And don't forget, if it's your first time here, hit the subscribe button. There are all the other little buttons on the YouTube thing where you can give us a thumbs up and hit the bell for future notifications, all those things. Please, please, please come back and see us again soon. You take care now. Bye bye.